You're watching WSBT 22 News, first at 4.
Our hearts and prayers go out to Joe Zangaro and Ron Kinzel's family. They were two great individuals that have served law enforcement for many, many years. They were loving husbands, loving fathers.
Well, first at 4, our community is in mourning right now. A short time ago, a memorial service was held to honor 2 court bailiffs killed yesterday in the shooting at the Berrien County Courthouse. We remain on the scene gathering the very latest on this shooting. WSBT 22's Suzanne Spencer is there at the memorial for those officers. And WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon, she's here and she has an update on what we know about the gunman. But this is who we want to talk about first. Bailiffs Ron Kinzel and Joe Zangaro. They were shot and killed by the inmate at the courthouse. Other officers returned fire, killing the suspect. 41-year-old Sheriff's Deputy Jim Atterbury was injured in that. Let's get the latest now from WSBT 22's Suzanne Spencer. Suzanne, many people stopping by that memorial behind you.
Jennifer, this memorial behind me is made up of lots of mementos, of flowers, of different notes honoring these 2 officers. But keep in mind here, this is growing outside the Berrien County Sheriff's Department. All the while, these officers are trying to go about their normal day just in the midst of this absolute tragedy of losing some of their own. Now, we want to walk you through a little bit about what we know so far. A deputy was moving an inmate from a holding cell to a courtroom. He was there for a hearing on a sexual misconduct charge and a domestic issue, but in that process, the inmate had an altercation with the deputy. The suspect managed to somehow get the deputy's gun while handcuffed in the front, shooting the deputy in the arm. Then we know the suspect killed the 2 bailiffs. We know from some scanner traffic that one bailiff was hit near the elevator on the 3rd floor, and that's when several other officers got involved and shot the suspect. Several other agencies are stepping in to help Berrien County Sheriff's Department, including Benton Harbor's Police Department.
Both men, you know, they were your cops. I mean, you know, there's no bad stuff out there about them. They're just good guys. You know, they did their job. They did it every day. People were happy. They were firm when they had to be firm. They were fair. It's just a sad loss.
We have to keep in mind when all this happened yesterday afternoon, the Berrien County Courthouse was very busy. It's a very busy time of day. People paying tickets, different court hearings, all sorts of different things going on in that courthouse. But on the 3rd floor where this happened, that's also a busy area. The prosecutor's office is in there, which has several different attorneys. We know some of them heard those shots as well, really, as people throughout the courthouse, many of them describing it as very surreal.
Yes, Suzanne, the deputy and another woman are also recovering.
Jennifer, Deputy Atterbury is still recovering. We also know the woman who was hit by the bullet. Her name is Kenya Ellis of Berrien County, and the hospital at this point is not yet commenting on her condition.
All right, Suzanne, thank you very much for that update out there. And we want to give you a better look at that memorial set up outside the Berrien County Sheriff's Department. All day long, we have seen people dropping off notes, flowers, and balloons, just paying their respects to bailiffs Ron Kinzel and Joe Zangaro. Now, our crews report seeing almost the entire staff of Whirlpool walking over to that memorial. Other visitors told WSBT 22's Danielle Kennedy that it's a very sad time and that it's going to be very tough getting things back to normal out there. Well, now for the latest on the suspect. Larry Gordon. He is the man police say overpowered a sheriff's deputy, got his gun, and killed the bailiffs. He was then killed by police. We've been looking into his past today, and records show he was locked up on major felony charges. WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon has been looking into that. Caitlin, Gordon's ex-wife has now spoken out.
Yes, Jessica Gordon says she's praying for the Zangaro and Kinzel families, but says she too is suffering a loss. She says that Larry Gordon wasn't a bad person. He was just afraid of what the future held. But a background check shows he's been in and out of the court system several times. His arrest record stretches back to 1992 when he was taken in for felony unarmed robbery. Gordon's most recent charges, the ones he was in court for yesterday, include criminal sexual conduct and domestic violence. But Sheriff Bailey said this is the first time Gordon had been violent while in his custody.
He's not been combative. He's always been cooperative. the entire time he was here.
I truly believe that he was terrified of going to prison and was just trying to come home. I truly believe that Larry wasn't trying to hurt anyone. He was scared himself and just wanted to see his daughter.
Gordon has been in jail since April after canine officers had to sniff him out when officers came looking for him. That domestic violence charge stems from an incident related to his ex-wife, Jessica Gordon.
All right, Caitlin, thanks very much. People from across the country reaching out to people in Berrien County today just to share their sympathies. Leaders from neighboring cities, neighboring towns also speaking out. We talked with Benton Harbor Mayor Marcus Muhammad. He said the unity between the cities of Benton Harbor and St. Joseph is very important right now.
I think that, unity can solve 95% of our problems. We've tried many different things. But I think that we are beginning to see that we need one another and that together there's no tragedy that's too great where in the end we can triumph.
And we are going to continue to stay in St. Joseph, continuing to cover this story. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll have another live update on the investigation. The Sheriff's Department also expected to give another live update at 6 o'clock. We will be covering that on air and online, so stay with WSBT 22 News for continuing coverage. Happening right now, another community paying tribute to fallen officers. President Obama joined President George W. Bush and Vice President Biden at an interfaith memorial in Dallas. This is for the 5 police officers killed in the line of duty. The officers died when a sniper opened fire last Thursday at a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest.
We recognize that we are brothers and sisters, sharing the same brief moment on earth and owing each other the loyalty of our shared humanity. At our best, we know we have one country, one future, one destiny. We do not want the unity of grief, nor we want the unity of fear. We want the unity of hope, affection, and high purpose.
The president will meet privately with the families of the fallen officers after the service. Funerals for several of those officers begin tomorrow.
Good Tuesday afternoon. I'm Matt Rudkin. A very warm day. Heat index values for many of you in the triple digits now. Here's a live look at Mishawaka. Starting to see some clouds develop, and we're also getting some rain from those clouds. Our storm tracker radar shows you mainly our western counties at this point. US 35 westwards to Stark, LaPorte, and far western Pulaski County seeing a couple of those rain showers and some lightning falling from them with them as well. Any storms that develop this afternoon have the potential for some real heavy rain and also brief gusty winds, but severe threats relatively low. But we've got a lot of heat and humidity that will help sustain these storms as they continue to move to the east and to the northeast. Temperatures out there, it is hot, it is humid, upper 80s and low 90s. The next several hours, we are going to remain basically in the 80s and 90s through about 9 o'clock. Coming up to your forecast, we'll track those storms for you a little bit more and look ahead to more heat and humidity in just a couple of minutes.
All right, happening later tonight, Indiana Governor Mike Pence will be sharing a campaign stage with Donald Trump. This as the Republican presidential candidate considers him as a potential vice presidential running mate. Pence will be among the hosts at a private Trump campaign fundraising event in downtown Indianapolis tonight. The governor is scheduled to later introduce Trump during a rally in the Indianapolis suburb of Westfield.
I am endorsing Hillary Clinton. This election must be about bringing our people together, not dividing us up.
Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders took the stage in Portsmouth, New Hampshire to show they are united. Clinton faces a tough matchup against Trump in the fall. The latest national polls show her lead over the businessman slipping to just 3 points. The FBI's decision not to prosecute Clinton over her use of a private email server while she was Secretary of State is one of the reasons that caused her numbers to drop in the polls.
A new form of therapy here at Memorial Hospital in the NICU. I'm Darla Hernandez. Coming up, we'll tell you about music therapy.
And as we go to break, another look at the memorial site set up outside the Berrien County Sheriff's Department there. People are continuing to come by, leaving tributes to the 2 bailiffs who lost their lives yesterday afternoon. The The latest on that investigation and a community in mourning coming up on WSBT 22 News.
Now, your accurate first alert weather forecast with meteorologist Matt Rudkin.
It is hot. It is humid. Look at these temperatures across the board. It's 90 now in Warsaw, 90 Goshen, 91 Elkhart, as well as Niles, 90 to Wajak, 90 Benton Harbor. You factor in that humidity, dew points in the 70s across the area makes it feel like it's triple digits for many of you. It feels like it's 103 for our friends in Niles, 97 up in Syracuse, 98 Plymouth. This is hot. This is humid. This is why we're seeing some thunderstorms pop up. Our storm tracker radar, again, mainly west of 35 at this point. LaPorte down towards Westville, seeing a little bit of that Wanata as well. These are moving to the east and to the north. There's Stark County, there's LaPorte County. So right across the Wanata, moving right that way around US 30. And you can see, putting this into motion, they are moving to the east and northeast. So LaPorte, Stark, Pulaski County, you are first. Eventually Fulton, Marshall, and St. Joe County, and then southwest Michigan in the next hour or so. No severe weather warnings, and these aren't huge storms, but are producing some heavy rain and lightning as well as brief gusty winds. I'll zoom out and show you this in motion. You can see the clouds starting to develop. This is ahead of a little, it's an outflow, a little mini cold front, if you will, and that's enough to sustain these showers. Notice they go through the evening and overnight. By tomorrow, same deal, afternoon thunderstorms. A pretty good bet as we go through the next couple of hours here. I'm going to show you our muggy meter. We're not done with the heat and humidity. Notice Tuesday and Wednesday, so today and tomorrow, we are up there in the 70s. Heat index values likely triple digits again tomorrow. And again, on Thursday, before we slowly start to wind down here, look at Friday, upper 50s. So we do get some relief. It's just going to take its sweet time getting here. Next couple of hours, notice we are in the 80s. Eventually, overnight, we fall into the 70s. But again, it's going to take its sweet time, at best 72 tonight. So those of you without air conditioning, my heart goes out to you again, because the fans will be running, to say the least here. 7-day forecast, we are in the upper 80s, low 90s through Thursday. Heat index values, again, triple digits, a good bet for many of you. We cooled down a bit on Friday. Look at that, 80 degrees. And the next 7 days, we remain in the 80s. But notice late next week, we start to warm things back up, upper 80s and low 90s. You can bet it's going to remain hot. It's going to remain humid there with several chances for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Severe weather threat today and tomorrow is not zero, but if you've ever been down in the deep south, you know that any thunderstorms that develop could be on the strong side. Same deal with this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We have another look at that memorial in St. Joseph, Michigan, in tribute to two fallen bailiffs. They were killed yesterday by a man who officers were attempting to move from a holding cell to a courtroom. The two bailiffs had a long history of service in law enforcement. Our entire news team is continuing to work to bring you the latest on this tragedy in our community, and we will have more live reports coming up on WSBT 22 News at 5 o'clock. Well, this didn't take long. The worldwide phenomenon, Pokemon Go, can already be bad for your phone. WSBT 22's Bob Montgomery reports it's only for specific phones and versions of the game. Bob?
We probably should have seen this one coming. A malicious version of Pokemon Go is already affecting some of your smartphones. Hackers have used the official version of the game to inject malware, giving them full access to your phone. If you downloaded the official game from the Apple App Store or from Google Play, you're safe. Only those who downloaded from a third-party source for Android are at risk. Researchers say no one has reported problems just yet. They only want you to know it could potentially be downloaded onto your phone. From First in the Morning, Bob Montgomery, WSBT 22 News.
All right, Bob, thank you. You know, many say music can help soothe the soul, and it may be just the thing for many newborns. We have a look at a very unique program at one hospital in our area that's coming up in Mom's First today, first at 4. And it is hot out there today.
It is hot, sparking some showers and thunderstorms. So before we head to commercial, I want to show you our storm tracker radar again. Mainly our western counties, but some of these storms, especially down towards Bass Lake, Madairyville, Francisville, on the strong side, heading into the heart of the viewing area. We'll track them for you coming up.
You're watching WSBT First at 4.
This is a unique program for premature newborns at a local hospital. It's called Music Therapy. WSBT 22's Darla Hernandez has more in Mom's First.
Are you ready to hum?
Erica Gunn of Wakarusa delivered her baby boy Case at just 27 weeks. So learning of a new therapy to help her son is music to her ears.
He's been doing really well with it, and I think it's calming, and I enjoy it to be able to sing to him and see him calm down, relax.
Cambry Reedstrom, a music therapist at Memorial Hospital, works with families throughout the neonatal intensive care unit. She says there are big benefits.
It can help their oxygen increase a little bit. It can help mom's breast milk. It can help calm them down. It can help facilitate more bonding between them.
Reedstrom says they start by humming and then gradually sing the song at a much slower pace.
We do them slow so that it's not too overstimulating for him. This may be the first time he's heard music or the first time he's heard a lullaby. We make it so that it's not startling for him, so it's going to be less stressful.
Currently, there are 18 babies receiving music therapy here at Memorial Hospital in the NICU. Now, in order for a baby to receive music therapy, they have to be at least 28 weeks old. For Erica, she says the music therapy has been such a huge success, they're looking to use it in even more ways in the future.
Eventually, we'll hopefully do a recording, so they'll be able to play it in his bed as well if we're not here.
It is truly so sweet. And a study back in 2002 of music therapy for premature infants showed that the biggest benefits were weight gain, reduced stress behaviors, and the length of stay in the hospital, Jennifer, was actually decreased.
That's amazing. So she does this full time in the hospital.
She rotates throughout the NICU, 18 different premature newborns she's working with.
What a gift she has. Darla, thanks very much.
I also want to thank the countless folks on the front lines who clearly prevented the tragedy from even being worse. Swift actions of those on the ground need to be commended, particularly the Berrien County Sheriff Department led by Sheriff Paul Bailey. I was with him just this past Saturday, and what he had to endure the last 24 hours is unthinkable.
That was Congressman Fred Upton speaking today from the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives about what happened yesterday at the Berrien County Courthouse. Many of you continuing to share your thoughts about this on the WSBT Facebook page. I want to share some of them with you. Kimberly said, to protect and serve at its finest. Thank you for your faithful years of service. May you rest in peace and heal fast. We are blessed to have officers like all of you. Becky says, thoughts and prayers for the families, friends, co-workers, and emergency personnel involved in this tragic situation. And Tia says, praying for the families of these heroes, speedy recovery and prayers for those recovering in the hospital and all the workers and others that had to be part of such a horrible event. Angel said, I worked in the courthouse and knew both Ron and Joe. The lives sacrificed and saved by the bailiff speaks volumes to Joe's team. Their presence and spirit will be missed. And you can share your thoughts on the WSBT 22 Facebook page. Just look for the stories that we have posted about this. We will be right back.
All right, hot and humid next few days. Notice temperatures in the 90s both tomorrow, Thursday. We cool down a bit Friday, a little bit cooler for the weekend, also drier, but heat and humidity return as we get towards next week. Any thunderstorms today, tomorrow, or Thursday could be on the strong side. Heavy rain and brief gusty wind. Jen?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. And thank you for watching First at 4. We're going to have more live team coverage on the deadly shooting at the Berrien County Courthouse coming up in about 30 minutes on WSBT 22 News at 5 o'clock. We leave you with a picture of the memorial as it grows out there.